Yes.
Thank you, my lord. So, Mr. Makhubo, I think that will be my final question. Was there any letter that was issued to you by the National Commissioner or the Minister terminating your appointment as the investigating officer in this case?
I remember at Advocate Tulani Joshua Mngomezulu's funeral, how his children shared with us the kind of man that he is. They gave us this glimpse at Advocate Mngomezulu outside the courtroom, and the love that he is surrounded with, the love that his family had for him, and the type of father that he was. That was such a memorable moment for me, especially when his daughter poured her heart out and read her letter to her dad publicly. She shared that Advocate Mngomezulu was such a comedian, and Advocate Ramasipili actually confirmed this as well when he spoke at the funeral and said, listen, Mngomezulu would come in and give me a new name every other day. So thank you to everybody who took the strength. I know it took a strength to watch this series, even though this series was focused on Warrant Officer Makhubo. There's no way I could do it without including Advocate Mngomezulu, because Advocate Mngomezulu brought Warrant Officer Makhubo into the courthouse despite Advocate Baloyi profusely objecting to it. He brought him back into the courthouse because he needed a few 1 or 12 things said and put on the record. So to you who might have found it difficult to watch the series but watched it anyway, I hope you found it was memorable just going back and seeing Mngomezulu in better days. Before, tomorrow, there's a saying, it says, tomorrow is not promised to anyone. And had he known that he was not going to be here January 2025 to proceed with the defense case and bring back Warrant Officer Makhubo, I think he would have done his cross-examination a whole lot differently, a whole lot explosively. But it was enough, what he did was enough to introduce us to Warrant Officer Makhubo's story. His story is like Zungunaiza's story. Zungu is a standalone story in the SENZO MEYIWA trial. Warrant Officer Makhubo's story is also a standalone story. It is the story of how, I would say, a one-man band, but then there's him and Joyce Butelezi. Two people stood up against the norm. They didn't go the direction everybody else went in. They created docket 375, walked it over to Advocate Baloyi's office and explained why they have the opinion that they have, that those in the house are the ones who should be arrested for terminating the life of SENZO MEYIWA and defeating the ends of justice. And in that list, don't forget to include Brigadier Ginenda, who was not a brigadier at the time. He was a colonel. Was he promoted because he went along with the Nganegwane? I don't know. But we do this series so we can go back in time to see what we missed then and piece it together with what we're hearing now in court with Brigadier Ginenda still on the stand. So I ask you today, drop in the comment section what you have learned from this Warrant Officer Makhubo series. Of course, you already know I'm going to ask you to keep on praying. Prayer might not be enough. That is a weapon that can unite us. That is a beginning point. What else can be done for Warrant Officer Makhubo? Spreading awareness about his story. Spreading awareness about his story. Sharing the videos about Warrant Officer Makhubo. Speaking loud about Warrant Officer Makhubo. Because without a Warrant Officer Makhubo, there is no docket 375. And how many times have I seen in the comments, and not just on my channel, even in the mainstream media channels, bring docket 375, bring docket 375, bring docket 375. And that has stirred out a whole movement. So keep watching, keep sharing, because that's what keeps Warrant Officer Makhubo's story alive. No, I'm not saying this because I want the views and it benefits me. I'm saying this because some people might not have known the situation, the conditions that Warrant Officer Makhubo is under presently or has been experiencing. But Professor Tehas penned it out. She wrote a public letter. Protection, absolute protection. Protection for this man's life because he is doing work that many would shy away from. He is doing work that many would shy away from. So I will definitely keep you abreast with all updates with regards to Warrant Officer Makhubo as I receive them. But at the same time, we stand with Warrant Officer Makhubo. Go ahead and type in the comment section. We stand with Warrant Officer Makhubo. We stand with him because he did the unimaginable. He did the unimaginable. Disheartening that his life is in danger, that his family is in danger, but it points out that they will stop at nothing. This series was inspired by the letter written by Professor Mary Tehas, to the Director of National Prosecution, to Advocate Batoy. Will she respond to the letter? Will there be measures put in place for the safety of a defense witness? Or are those measures strictly reserved for state witnesses like Zungunaiza? I'm going to pause my commentary here and then we're going to listen to the iconic last words Mngomezulu said to Warrant Officer Mako. Advocate therefore said, the battle is only starting. The battle is only starting. Viva Advocate Mngomezulu. Viva.
Ikhona incwadi oye wayinikwa mhlawumbe umphathi wamaphoyisa noma incwadi ewuye wanikwa ukuthi kuleli cala awusase omunye wabaphenyi? No, I did not receive.
Thank you, my lord. I have no further questions.
Yes, Mr. Baloyi.
As the court, please, my lord. Warrant officer.
Should we go first? Sorry. Mr. Rapp. Yes.
No, I don't have any questions for you.
You don't have any questions? Yes,
No
Mr.
questions.
Ngumana.
But I have no questions, thank you.
Mr. Mshololo.
No questions, madam.
Okay, yes.
Warrant Officer Makhubo, you testify that you were not involved in the taking down of the confession of accused number 1. Is that correct?
Uthe awuzange ube ingxenye yokuthi ubhale uma umsolo egonyulu. That is correct.
You were also not involved in the pointings out that took place on the 5th of June 2020. Is that correct?
Futhi nokukhomba okwayenzakala nge-5 zika June 2020 wawukade ungasiyingxenye yakho. That is correct.
And those are the issues that the court is seized with at the moment. So your evidence is not helpful as far as those two aspects are concerned: the taking down of the confession of accused number 1, as well as the pointing out that took place on the 5th of June 2020. The confession took place on the 30th of May 2020. You cannot be of any assistance to the court as far as those two statements are concerned. Is that correct?
That is correct.
You don't know the circumstances under which those statements were obtained.
Yes, I do not know.
You testify that you were appointed by the National Commissioner and the Minister to be involved in this investigation.
That is correct.
If you say we, who are you referring to?
It was myself,
Colonel Teles,
Colonel Buthelezi,
Colonel Ramohale,
Colonel Ramohale,
also about Colonel Geninda by then,
and
Colonel Geninda.
and Colonel Geninda. By then, he was still Colonel.
But were you all appointed at the same time?
Nonke,
These people that you've mentioned, were you all appointed at the same time?
Mascade sort.
yes, at the same time, my lord.
And when was that? When did this appointment take place?
May 18 November 2018.
On the 18th of November in 2018,
The evidence of Brigadier Ginina is that they took over as a cold case unit in 2019. What is your comment?
Mina angiyazi police case unit amaphoyiseni angiyazi.
I do not know the cold case unit in the police service.
But you just testified about the cold case unit. How can you say you don't know about it?
Ngibuzwe ngama-case ukuthi anjani ama-case cold case unit, not unit.
I was asked about the type of cases. What type of cases are referred to as cold case units, not the unit itself.
You testify that the cold case unit deals with cases that have been filed. Is that correct?
That is correct.
But Brigadier Gininda outlined the mandate of the cold case unit as working on cases that have not been resolved, not filed.
Anje ngichaze le ndaba.
May I explain?
Yes.
Idocket elisaphenywa
A docket that is still investigated.
alibandi lelo docket ngoba lisaphenywa.
It's not a cold.
Sesesandleni se-investigating officer.
It's not-
Lisaqhubeka yaphenywa.
It's not a cold
case-
docket because it's still in the hands of an investigating officer and they're still investigating it. Beka?
I-case ebandayo, i-case esefayilini.
A cold case, it's a case that is on file.
That's why kuthiwa it's a cold case because ifayiliwe.
And that is why it is referred to as a cold case because it has been filed.
Is that your understanding of the mandate of the cold case unit?
Ukuzwisisa kwakho wokuthi cold case unit isebenza kanjani.
Angizwisisi ngiyazi.
It is not my understanding, it's my knowledge.
The way Warrant Officer MAKHUBO just made me laugh. Oh my goodness. Is this the needle in the haystack? Because I started this series in search of what is it about Warrant Officer MAKHUBO that has his life in danger for doing the mere thing, his job. Just trying to find justice for SENZO MEYIWA. And on that topic, please type justice for SENZO MEYIWA in the comment section down below, because that is still the main focus with regards to 375 and 636. That's the number one thing that we're hoping to achieve. But Warrant Officer MAKHUBO is a stubborn man. Is this the needle in the haystack? Is this the reason why his life is in danger? Is this the reason why there's a target on his back? He doesn't recognize the cold case unit. He says there is no cold case unit. Baloyi tries to belittle him and he says, no, it's not my understanding. I know. Oh my goodness. Shout out to Warrant Officer MAKHUBO. That was an epic moment. This man is monotone, okay? He's monotone when they're disrespecting him, when they're undermining his rank as a warrant officer. He's also same tone when he's sticking it right back at Advocate Baloyi. When it doesn't matter what he's talking about. The tone remains the same, okay? He is on bar one, all the way, in and out. There's no inferences, there's no high or low, there's no ditches, okay? There's no striations. He's strictly a straight line in his communication. Oh my goodness. Let me know in the comment section, do you think this is the reason why his life is in danger? His attitude, his demeanor, his lack of remorse, his lack of backing down, his lack of folding, and the audacity to open a docket 375 on the cold case unit that he says there is no such thing in the police department as the cold case unit. This is hilarious. He was belittled by Judge Rata when he was asked, when he said there was no one who was appointed as a leader. We were all appointed at the same time. And Judge said there's no leader, so no one was told that you are going to shine the shoes of Brigadier Gininda. What about the ranking structure? But he just kept with his monotone. Didn't catch no flames, didn't catch any attitude. But we know somebody on the stand right now who catches feelings anytime anyone tries to belittle him or undermine his rank. But you know what? Let's continue on. This is Warrant Officer MAKHUBO. How will Baloyi respond next? Is he going to take this lying down, or he is coming after Warrant Officer MAKHUBO for utterly, because even Baloyi undermines Warrant Officer Makhubo's intelligence. How do you know that? But you gotta hear the rest.
Anyway, we're not going to enter into a debate into that, but Brigadier Ginina testified that the mandate of the court case unit is to deal with cases that have not been resolved, not cases that have been filed. You mentioned that there were two teams working on this matter regarding the death of Mr. SENZO MEYIWA. Is that correct?
Ekuhambeni kwe-investigation
I said,
kwaba nokuhlukana kwaba kwama-team ayi-2.
I said, as the investigation proceeded, then that's when there were two teams where we divided.
And he testified that these teams were of different opinions. Is that correct?
Yebo kanjalo.
That is correct.
This is regarding what?
Sehlukaniswa indaba yesenzakalo se-crime scene eyenzakala eFosloras.
We were divided by the place of the crime scene of what happened in Fosloras.
Yes.
Yebo?
Is it correct that there are two theories?
Yebo kanjalo.
That is correct.
And what are those theories?
How is that going to help us resolve the admissibility of the confession?
Yes, that's just based on his evidence. But just one aspect on this point, my lord. You mentioned that you were an investigator in 636, First Lawrence 63610 stroke 2014. Is that correct?
Yes, I am an investigator.
But is that correct?
Kodwa iqiniso lokho.
Yebo iqiniso.
Yes, it is correct.
But is it not so that you were appointed inspector of Phosphorus Cast 3751 of 2019? 3751 of 2019.
Lelo le docket lika 37 Phosphorus 375 stroke 1 stroke 2019.
Yep.
Livele masloke Spenya Phosphorus 636 of 10 2014.
The docket of 375 stroke 1 stroke 2019 emanated as we were busy investigating the docket of 63610 of 2014.
And is it correct that you are the co-investigator in that case, Phosphorus 3751 of 2019?
No, Spenya sababili. No, yimi no captivated.
The matter is being investigated by myself and Colonel Buthelezi.
So in fact, you are not the investigating officer in Phosphorus 63610 of 2014, but you are the investigating officer in 3751 of 2019. Is that correct?
Awungitsheli lokho. Awungitsheli lokho. Uyayithola siyahamba sonke ufuna isona ngesibhekisa ngakuwe manje before ngithola.
Njoba sengishilo ukuthi idocket le 375 liphume from Phosphorus case 366.
Like I said, that the docket 3751 of 2019 came from the docket of 636 of 10 2014.
Yes, and you carried on with the investigation in 3751 of 2019. Is that correct?
Waqhubeka ke kuphenyo luka 3751 of 2019.
Yebo.
That is correct.
So it will not be correct to say that you are the investigating officer in Phosphorus 63610 of 2014.
Awungitsheli lokho. Awungitsheli lokho. Uyayithola siyahamba sonke ufuna isona ngesibhekisa ngakuwe manje before ngithola.
14 nawo wonke.
I have all the dockets 636 10 2014 and the other one.
But Warrant Officer Mako, without belaboring that point, the docket that you are currently carrying, it's Phosphorus Cast 3751 of 2019. Is that correct?
Uniswa.
Njoba ngisho ngithi ngwaphethe oyi-2 akhona oyi-2 in my possession kimi.
My lord,
Akhona.
as I am saying, I have both of them in my possession.
Are you investigating both dockets?
Sebenza le case le 375. Angithi ngicala ngibheka ngapha ku 636.
As I'm working on the case 375, I firstly refer to 3636.
Now, the procedure that you've outlined regarding the arrangements for the confession, that you make arrangements with your branch commander, is it documented anywhere?
Into engayiyela ngayifundiswa. Into engiyikhuluma la, into engayifundela.
That's,
Into esuka kimi ngayifundela, ngayifundiswa.
that is what I was taught. It's not what I just think of or just something that I know. It's something that I was taught.
But what I'm asking you is it documented anywhere?
Uthi umshushisi kunala iyabhalwa khona na?
Hey, balok laba bayasifundisa eklasini phela. Yibo babaphethe ama-module.
It was
Eklasini.
documented. It was documented by our lectures in class, as they are the ones that had the modules.
You agree that the evidence that you gave regarding the arrest of accused number 1 on the 19th of March 2020, that is what you heard from other people. You've got no first-hand knowledge regarding that. Is that correct?
Ngizwe eChlorokop.
Yes, I had it in Chlorokop when I was called.
Thank you, Malo. Those are the only aspects.
Yeah, just for my interest, because I'm shocked at what you say. You're saying the minister had originally appointed 40 investigators, 40.
Uthi uminister ubekade yena eqashe abantu abawu-40 ebekade bephenya kwicala.
Nge-40.
Before us, my
Sir,
lord.
sir,
Yes.
did you say the minister had appointed 40 investigators?
Uthi inkantolo ifuna ukwazi ukuthi uthe uminister uthe wayekade eqashe abantu abawu-40 abaphenya kwicala.
Uminister njengoba bengishilo la. Ngithe uminister uthe bokunabantu abawu-40 kule case.
As I have said, my lord,
Wabaqosha.
the minister said there were 40 people in this case and he dismissed
All of them?
Bonke,
Bonke.
all of them.
Well, I'll reserve my comments.
Uthi ngeke aphawule,
Thank you, sir.
uzawuthula ngalo.
Yes, Mr. Mngomezulu.
From the question that were asked by my colleague regarding docket 375 and docket 636, is it the same crime scene?
Indawo eyodwa.
Yes, it is the same crime
Is
scene.
it the same suspects?
Abasolwa bona labo abafanayo kula macala omabili. No. No.
Will you able to?
Mr.
Sorry.
Mngomezulu, you're aware
Sorry.
that you're abusing the process?
No.
You are aware?
I'm aware of that.
Yeah,
Sorry.
please.
I beg your pardon.
Yes, is there any other witness you're calling, sir?
No,
No other witness?
no other witness.
Is that number 2's case now?
That's number 2's case, number 1's case.
I mean, sorry, number 1's case. Yes, Mr. Baloy, you say?
As a court, please, my lord, we're ready to argue. To start with, my lord, we'll ask that the evidence of this witness be struck off the record as irrelevant. The evidence of Warrant Officer Makhubo.
You see, Warrant Officer Makhubo answers questions as they are. He doesn't change, he doesn't add, he just sticks to what the answer is. And those answers were quite upsetting to Advocate Baloy because Makhubo was not declining that he was no longer an investigator on the docket 636. He says, I'm still an investigator. In fact, I am in possession of both dockets. And it made me remember Advocate Mngomezulu when he holds up the stack of papers and says, I am in possession of Kelly Kumalo's Section 205s. And notice MAKHUBO actually had to say, he said it in isiZulu, and then he said, you know what, let me say it in English, because maybe he's not hearing me. I understand what you're asking me. And he says, I am in possession of both dockets. I know that's right. You know what? Yeah, you guys are right. Warrant Officer MAKHUBO is Mr. Fearful. He don't give a damn, okay? He doesn't give a rat's ass. He is not backing down. He is sticking to the job at hand. You can deny him any promotions. You can throw cases at him. You can refuse to promote him and him getting a higher ranking based on the work that he has done, the good work that he has done in other cases. But because he stepped on some toes, okay? I don't know if those toes are in stiletto toes, but he has stepped on some toes in docket 636. Somebody's upset. Somebody wants his life. And who is it? Who is it? That remains the golden question. But do you know what? I want to take this moment to say thank you so much for watching this series. This is Mzansi Unfiltered. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video. Share this video because it tells the story. It tells the untold stories of why Warrant Officer MAKHUBO has a target on his back. And did you hear Judge Rata when he says, answer the question, like how rude was he with regards to, did the minister appoint 40 people? Did you say 40? And he just had to be so rude and undermining to him. But Warrant Officer MAKHUBO, Mr. Monotone, said, I do not care. I'm still going to answer this question the way I want to answer it. And that is it from me today. Thanks for watching. If you've made it this far in the video, you know what? You already know. Drop me a soccer ball and a heart emoji. Why? Because you absolutely have my heart. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching the ads. Thanks for liking, commenting, subscribing. If you're watching from outside the club and you've watched episode 1 to 6, you can only pay back for my efforts to bring this content to you by hitting that subscribe button. I absolutely appreciate it. You don't have to comment. If you're from the outside the club gang, it's okay. You don't have to comment if you don't want to, but please leave a subscription. No one will know you're subscribed to the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on my next upload. Tomorrow is day 1. Advocate Mshololo versus Gininda back on the stand. The session begins tomorrow. What are your thoughts? What are your predictions? We'll talk about it in my next video. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in my next upload.